I'm heading back to the same place I'm always going to, the gym. I need to get some friends. I don't really have any friends out here. I have one friend. I guess you could say two, because they're a couple. And we don't really see them that much, because just, you know, work schedules, you know, kind of clashing. And they live back where we used to live at, which is this town called Tip City. Ah! I think I had a spider in my helmet. But anyway, they live in the town we used to live in, which is like half an hour away from here or something like that, maybe 45 minutes. And yeah, I just don't have that many friends. I don't have any friends out here that really ride. I would say I have a couple acquaintances that ride from the gym that I used to go to. I talk to them every once in a while. You know, they're both older guys. One's got a Hayabusa, the other one's got like 6 motorcycles, all different ones. He's got like an R6 and Harleys and all kinds of stuff. And I've only actually ridden with the guy that has all the bikes. I've actually only ridden with him, and it was one time. You know, so I don't really have any riding buddies out here. I think it's mostly because I have a sport bike, and that's kind of the problem. Is I'm in my 30s. I'm not really trying to go crazy and drive fast and lane split and race. And usually people who have sport bikes, not always, but the majority are like younger people, and they're like early to mid 20s. So, you know, I don't want to do all the crazy stuff. And usually when you're, you know, when you're early to mid 20s, you want to do all the crazy stuff on a sport bike. It's like, I just don't want to do that. I got too much at risk. I have a CDL. I can't, you know, I can't risk that kind of stuff and risk losing my license and risk losing my job. I just like sport bikes because, I mean, mainly, yeah, the speed is cool. It's great having all that. It's great doing like little highway pulls every now and then, you know, whatever. But they just look cool. That's why I got one. It's like buying a Porsche or like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. You know, they're just, it's cool to have, it's cool to look at, and they're fun to ride. But I mean, you can still get the same, you know, well, not the same experience riding like a cruiser, but you know, you still get the, you know, the throttle, the clutch, shifting gears. You know, you can get all that on a Harley, but it just doesn't look as cool to me as, you know, a sport bike. And then of course, I didn't need a 1000. Nobody needs a 1000. Really, nobody even needs a 600. They're so fast. You don't need it. But straight up, it's just kind of like gives you, just kind of gives you bragging rights, I guess. You know, just kind of gives you like that little "don't mess with me" thing. Because like you run into a lot of 600s out here, and rather than, I think I still got a bug in my helmet. But yeah, you run into a lot of 600s out here on the interstate and, you know, elsewhere. And when you're on a 1000, they typically don't want to do anything as far as like run you. You know, like they don't want to do a pull, they don't want to do anything like that. You know, you don't get into the situation, because I'm that type of guy where if someone pulls up next to me, is like, oh, run them, I'm gonna do it. I'm 100% gonna do it. And it's like, if you got a 1000, most people just don't even try, which is a plus side for me, so that way I don't risk anything. And I mean, I've had 600s before, and when another 600 pulls up to you, yeah, they always want to like, oh, let's see if my Yamaha can beat your Kawasaki, or see if my Kawasaki can beat your CBR, you know, that kind of stuff. When you're on a 1000, you don't run into a lot of other 1000cc bikes on the road, well, sport bikes. So you'll see them every once in a while. There's a guy where I used to live, I don't know, he probably lived in like Huber or the Dayton area, or, you know, somewhere around there. and he had a BMW S1000RR, one of like the newer ones. And then you know, the guy I knew at the gym, he had a Hayabusa, you know, but he was an older guy. He wasn't doing a whole lot of, you know, racing or anything like that on the streets. And also, I wasn't really planning to buy this bike. I actually had I had a BMW S1000 on order, the S1000RR. There's an S1000R, but the double R. I had one of those on order with the Dayton BMW dealership, and he told me it would be here in like a month. Now, this was back in the spring. He told me it'd be there in like a month, and then a month went by and it wasn't even done being built yet, and then 2 months went by and it was like just beginning the process of the build, and I was like, I'm not gonna wait until like July or August for this, you know. I'm gonna end up missing the whole riding season if I wait that long. So I wasn't actually planning to get the ZX-10R, but we went to this motorcycle dealership, just kind of browsing around. We go to a lot of car dealerships and motorcycle dealerships and just kind of check out, you know, some cool stuff. And I saw this one. I was like, well, I've always loved the Kawasaki green. I had a green 300 when I first started riding. I loved the color of it. I saw this sitting there. I was like, man, this is like $5,000 cheaper than that BMW, and I can get it right now. I don't have to wait and possibly miss a big chunk of the riding season. So I ended up just going ahead and buying it. You know, called up the BMW dealership. At that point, when I had called them, the bike was actually done being built, but it wasn't shipped out yet. So, you know, that would have been a few more weeks. So it would have been probably July, mid to late July by the time it got here. And yeah, so I like my decision. The only thing is just I don't know, the front ends on these ZX-10Rs, these new ones, are kind of weird looking, but I can live with it. It's alright. Yeah, I'm not like, when I didn't get that BMW, I was pretty bummed out because I thought they looked so freaking cool. I looked into Ducatis and then I found out about all their maintenance costs. Not saying BMW is not expensive, but Ducatis appeared to be much more expensive. But I was bummed out because I love the way they looked. I love that front end of the new ones. The reason I didn't want to get a used one, which I still think they look cool regardless, but the newest ones, the 2023s, have those, they have the winglets on the front of them, and I thought they were pretty cool looking. It made it look like a Stingray. I thought that was cool. I was like, it's a Stingray bike. I like that. I'd order a red one. I didn't want the BMW colors. Everyone has the freaking BMW colors, you know, the white, blue, red, or whatever it is. I was like, I don't want that. Everyone has that. And then there's black. I was like, that's too boring. They had that red. I love black and red as a color combination on cars and motorcycles, and they had that black and red color combination. I was like, I'm in on that one. But you know, it is what it is. I got my lime green. I definitely like green better than red. Green and black over red every day. So I'm definitely happy with the colors that I got on the Kawasaki for sure. And I mean, hey, a bike's a bike. Whether you got a brand new top of the line Ducati Superleggera, or you know, or if you got, you know, like a 20-year-old Harley, a bike's a bike. They're all fun. They're all fun to drive. I've had Harleys. Well, I've had a Harley. I had a Sportster, and I turned it into a bobber. Well, kind of a bobber. That wasn't like completely bobbed out. I still wanted to keep the suspension and all that, keep a relative amount of comfort. But yeah, I definitely wanted to keep some of that, you know, some of the comfort to the Cruiser. Not that it was that comfortable. I switched it out with this Lepera seat on it, which was like sitting on a brick basically, but it freaking looked cool. It had ape hangers on it, had it lowered. So I mean, it wasn't like super comfortable, but it was like comfortable enough to where I could, you know, ride it for an hour or two and be fine. I didn't want to go like all the way hardtail bobber and, you know, doing, you know, all that. That was a bit overkill for me. I mean, they definitely look cool. I love the looks of hardtail bobbers, and I would love to have one, but you know, that Harley became kind of my main bike, so I don't want my main bike to be a hardtail, because that sounds awful. I would like it as like my third or fourth bike. I think that would be fine. Oh, you're tight. Man, I did not realize how late it was. 7 o'clock. I also didn't know this Planet Fitness closed at 7. I don't know if that's just a weekend thing or if that's like all the time. Probably a weekend, but you know, whatever. This guy was literally walking around going, "Gym's closed, you need to leave." I'm like, oh, okay, it's 7 o'clock. I get out here, sun's going down. I'm like, oh crap. I think that guy pulling in was getting ready to go in. You ain't going today, my guy. Boy showing up right when they close. Yep, he's trying to walk in there. I did get me a new jacket today, so that's kind of cool. I'm not wearing it right now because it's like a wintertime kind of cold weather sort of jacket. So it's a street and steel, so I'm gonna look like a Harley boy on a sport bike. Yeah, whatever. It is like a leather-ish kind of material. I don't know what it is. It's almost like a suede, but it's pretty heavy. And it has like there's a built-in hoodie, so it is very warm for sure. And it was like 80 degrees today, so I definitely was not about to wear that on the bike, but I'm prepared for when it gets cold. And actually, it looks like it's gonna start getting cold like next weekend. I thought it'd be cold before this. It's kind of amazing that it's not, you know, cold already. Oh man, when I rode into the gym, good lord, I was sweating. It was like hotter. I mean, not like hot, but I mean, when you're wearing a jacket and heavy riding jeans and all that, it was hot. On the interstate there, God, it was cold. Not like cold, but a little chilly. Hey, a biker boy. A biker boy! I've never ridden this thing at night. I've ridden at night in general, like on other bikes, but I've never ridden this one at night. My Harley that I had, that I was talking about earlier. So the headlight that is on the Harley, I should have changed out the headlight, like the thing that holds the headlight, whatever that's called. I should have changed that out with a different one, but I just used the stock one, and I changed out the actual headlight to an LED light. But I put a relocation bracket on it because the Sportster stock headlight, the way they have it on there, it's real ugly, and it's got like this eyebrow thing on top of it, and it's just ugly. And I wanted to not have that, but where it mounts is on the top of the thingamabob that holds it. So that's where like where the bolt goes in. And I got this bracket that would relocate it down a little lower, you know, so it looked more centered, I guess. And I had to flip the whole casing, the whole case, whatchamajigget, that held the bulb, upside down. And I couldn't rotate the light itself inside of it because it had these clip things that went into holes on the case. So they wouldn't match up if I tried to just rotate the bulb. So basically I had an upside down headlight. Long explanation for a short story. I had an upside down headlight, so whenever I would use the high beams, the ground would just get brighter. It was kind of useless. It would blind everybody because, you know, the light that's supposed to be shining down onto the ground, you know, your low beams, was shining straight up, well, not straight up, but it was shining more upward, so everyone who was in front of me was just blinded because it was this bright LED light. And then when I would turn the high beams on, which I never did because it was just useless, you know, I think I turned them on like twice, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is stupid. It just makes the ground bright, but it didn't brighten up anything else. So I don't know why I told that story. That was random. I probably started with one thing. That's what I do. I just rant and I get onto other topics. Kind of how my brain works. And I'm just kind of all over the place, which I don't know. You know, some people get annoyed by it. I'm like, hey, keeps things lively. If you can't handle my ADHD, you can't handle me, baby. Because I like having it. It makes life more fun. Well, that's all I got for today. Kind of recording multiple videos on weekends so I can post other stuff. Again, there's not many people watching, but I don't care. I like making the videos. It's kind of fun. I like the editing. You know, not that I'm doing anything complicated with the editing, but I like doing it. It gives me something to do. I like it. I enjoy it. So I'm making, like, you know, 3 videos in a weekend, and then I guess I'll just like post like a video a week. So that way when it starts to get cold, I'll have like, I don't know, maybe I'll have like 6 or 7 videos ready to go, so I can post for 6 or 7 weeks while it's like really cold. Yeah, I'll still ride when it gets a little chillier, but you know, when it gets down to the 30s, man, I'm out. Actually, no, if it gets down below 45, I'm out. I've ridden in 32-degree weather. It's not fun. It sucks. But I did buy that jacket to ride in colder weather. I bought some gloves for it too, because these big old gauntlet gloves aren't going to go over the sleeves. So I bought some gloves too. I just got like some cheapo Sedici gloves. And I wasn't really thinking it through. I might take them back and try to find something else, because I wasn't thinking it through. They're like really breathable mesh gloves. And I was like, oh wait, I'm getting all this stuff for wintertime. Or not, you know, necessarily winter, but like late fall. I'm getting all this stuff for when it gets cooler out. Why did I get breathable gloves? My hands are going to freeze. I need to get the heated hand grips for this thing. You can get heated hand grips from Kawasaki. I don't know why they don't just put them on the bike from the factory. They make you order them separately. They already have all the connections ready for them. But yeah, I'm probably going to take those gloves back and see if I can get something that's going to be a little bit warmer, that aren't like too long, because you know the sleeves on this jacket are freaking bulky. Anyway, it's getting dark, and I'm sure the video, the quality of the video is probably getting a little poor in low light. I don't really know. Never tried recording it at dusk, I guess. So I guess we're gonna find out together. We're gonna find out together. Me and the 3 people that might watch this video all the way through. And if you did, I love you. And if you didn't, I love you. I don't care. Okay, love you, bye!